welcome, fellow baked goods. I'm Mr. McScruffmuffin. No, those jeans don't make your butt look big, and today I'm thinking about pride. This is the second part of a series on the 7 deadly sins that's going on, so if you'd like to take a step back, there's a link coming at you. Alright, so today we're talking about pride. Now, pride is one of those interesting things, because we feel a great swell of pride after we make a game-winning catch, after we get a promotion, after any number of things. We feel pride in many different situations. Alright, now not all pride is evil necessarily. A parent being proud of their 5-year-old penmanship is not like pride as I'm talking about now. So what is pride when it's sinful? Let's dig in and take a little closer look at that. Alright, so pride is defined as a disordered love of self, or a disordered love of the ego. It causes us to prefer ourselves to others, to put our needs over those of friends or enemies, and just in general mucks things up. It can manifest itself in a few different ways. Right, the first is when we desire things that are not proper to us. You might see this when somebody seethes in anger over not getting a promotion that they didn't truly deserve. What might be happening under the surface there is that they're overestimating themselves. They're thinking that they deserve things that are not necessarily for them. That's a capital instance of something that begins with a P that I'm sure you can guess. Now, to desire to get better is not necessarily prideful. It becomes that prideful feeling when the motive for getting better or obtaining something higher is selfish. Alright, so let's take a look at how a few different ways of how a desire can be selfish. Now, we should always want to get better, but when we desire that benefit all for ourselves to the exclusion of others, or we could want something because it will lead to adulation and compliments from others, or something like that, both of those are instances of pride, since the motivation is solely for the inflation of the ego. And it's pride regardless of whether or not we're the ones inflating, or the other people are the ones that are pushing the pump. Pride can also manifest itself in how we speak. Now, it may sound dumb, but some people fall into pride when they boast of things that they don't have, or of what has been gifted to them. Right, that sounds stupid, right? I mean, just dumb. But if you think about it, I think you'll find that it's far more prevalent than you would originally think. Alright, so take a look at job interviews. I think people frequently talk themselves up, claiming that they have this skill or that, or they've had this experience, when it's not necessarily true. It's a little bit of a bend of the truth. I think a lot of people think of that as quote-unquote playing the game, so to speak. But it's actually a little bit of pride. And there's some people that you're talking at a cocktail party or wherever you are, and people are talking up their big travel stories to make them sound like they're this cultivated world traveler, that they've had all these fantastic experiences. Or sometimes people talk of their nocturnal escapades to make themselves sound like hot stuff. Or they talk about gifts in such a way that it excludes any mention of the actual giver of the gift. Alright, so why are these instances of pride? Well, because so often when you get underneath the surface, what we're really doing is crafting our words and our body language so that other people have a higher opinion of us. I mean, we're determining how we act and speak, and we take that course of action in a manner that's slightly deceptive, so that we can win the esteem of others, even if we don't truly deserve that esteem. I really think that that's boiling down the essence of pride. It's looking at ourselves in such a way that we lose sight of what's true, and we trade it for an illusion that we believe to be superior in some way. Alright, so in some ways, all sin has its root in pride. This is because when we're prideful, we're estimating ourselves to be above God's command, or that what we're doing maybe is really not that bad, or that what we're doing is necessary for the sweet gal in the grocery store to like us, or to get hired at, Widgets R Us or whatever, we're going to need to say this or act in that way. And oftentimes it's the little tweaks in our words and in our body language that forms a foundation of pride in our lives. It can be tough to shake, and in all honesty, tough to see. I mean, even if there aren't huge lies, there is a deception there to inflate our egos and to boost ourselves up in a way that's not proper. Those instances can be very hard to see, and What you can't see, it's difficult to remove. Now there's more to pride, but in the interest of keeping things succinct, let's talk about the contrary virtue to pride. You've got humility there. Humility is an interesting word. It comes to us from the Latin word humus, which means ground or dirt. Alright, there's a few points to note there. To be of the ground does not mean to be dirty or lowly, taking the opinion that you're unfit to grovel in the waste products of the mighty. That's not what that means. Rather, it means more like to be grounded. To be grounded in what's true, that's to be humble. To be receptive to whatever happens and to hard work, that's true humility. I think C.S. Lewis put it really well at one point when he said, humility is not thinking less of yourself, but thinking of yourself less. We're not talking about false humility here. That's another vice. Not some sort of namby-pamby view where people give you genuine compliments, and you constantly respond by, kicking a rock around on the ground saying, oh, I'm not that good, or, well, your opinion's far too good for a lowly sub-creature like myself. Real humility sees the truth of things, and when complimented fairly, the humble man just says thank you. It's as simple as that. And it's a tip of the hat and an acknowledgement to who and what helped him achieve those things. It's not like an awkward acceptance speech, it's just a nod of appreciation and recognition. If someone says, wow, you really did a great job on that project, the proud man responds, well, you're not wrong, I'm pretty dang good. And the falsely humble man, on the other hand, says, well, it actually sucks, and I didn't do that well. The truly humble man says, thanks. I appreciate that. John really helped me. His talents really came alive on the project, but I appreciate your kind words. Now, pride's always there, and it takes courage, and it takes diligence to fight it off. Next time you're going to one-up somebody, we all do it, don't pretend, try to be humble, to be honest. St. Francis de Sales, pray for us to be humble. Fight the good fight, friends. I'm with you in this fight, believe me. It'll take a lifetime, but it's worth it. Peace be with you, and thanks for listening.